Let's roll.
I'm alive.
Let's roll. This is our fight. Let us go. Activating the bomb.
Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's go, my brother.
Slave, are you like inside the server room right now? Bro, how you got a ping of 2? That's crazy.
This is easy. We kill
Sounds
them,
like it.
and then we go home. Throw in the flashbang. Smoke.
Donut.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
Terrorists win.
Yes, my friend. Yes. Let's go, my brother. Decoy. Flashbang. Throwing flashbang.
Pushing cave. They're pushing A. Sorry, that's B. I don't know why my brain is there. I killed 3 on B.
We got it.
There's one more here. Yeah, there's one more on B.
I'm throwing the flashbang.
Away.
Grenade out.
Away.
Yo, you got the bomb, my guy.
Smoke.
Bomb has been planted.
Flashbang.
Counter-terrorists win.
Let's try A.
We will make them cry. The guy's out. Smoke! Grenade! I'm throwing a flashbang.
Counter-terrorists win.
It is time now, my brothers. Throw the decoy. Throw in smoke. Flashbang. Planting the bomb.
Bomb has been planted.
Good job.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Together we can do this. Flashback. Smoke. Grenade out. Planted.
Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win.
Mira.
Gear up. We aren't going on a windy walk here. These fellas are gonna regret waking up this morning.
instinct.
Deploying flashbang.
Counter-terrorists win.
That's the way we do it.
Let's go, fellas. Deploying flashbang. Throwing fire. Smoke.
Two more in cave.
Bomb has been
Grenade.
Flashbang.
Defusing the bomb.
Bomb has been defused. Counter-terrorists win.
Now we're getting stuck right into them.
Fire in the hole.
Laying down smoke. Throwing a grenade. Grenade. Grenade out. Deploying flashbang. Let's roll. Let's roll. Incendiary out.
Flashed me at B.
Run, run.
Grenade out.
Has been planted.
Throwing a grenade.
Flashbang.
Terrorists win.
Come on, jump, jump. Throwing fire.
Throwing a grenade.
Throwing smoke. Grenade out. Throwing flashbang.
That's bomb down.
Yeah, where was this last guy?
Mid.
Counter-terrorists win.
There you go.
So you go.
Learning that?
Sure. Well, yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out right now. Again, it's easy to draw conclusions from that, and so we've got the shell casings, other forensic evidence that is coming in, and trying to piece all of those things together.
You said that the roommate is being very helpful. Has that individual explained to law enforcement what the mindset of the shooter was and whether or not it is connected to his ideology or his situation as transitioning, as you just described?
I'm not sure about not sure about that piece right now, Dan.
What?
Okay, so we're not sure if the fact that he was romantically involved, as you say, with his partner who was transitioning is relevant to the motive of the murder based on the investigation.
Well, sure. Again, all of these things we're trying to figure it out. I know everybody wants to know exactly why and point the finger, and I totally get that. I do too.
Then why are you bringing this shit up, bro? What the fuck? Like, how is this helpful then? He's like, listen, we don't really know. The person who is trans is cooperating, but also don't let that get in the way of us fomenting hatred towards trans people in general. Come on now. Yeah, we can't let a crisis go to waste,
And so I just want to be careful, as I haven't read all of the interview transcripts, and so we'll have to wait and see what comes out.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. We should all be careful. I guess just because that's out there are a lot of people drawing conclusions, and so I'm just trying to get as many facts as we can glean from you, since you have been involved in the investigation. And on that, the social and gaming platform Discord released a statement saying its servers were in no way involved in Tyler Robinson's alleged plot to assassinate Charlie Kirk. But it did say there were, quote, communications between the suspect's roommate and a friend after the shooting, where the roommate was recounting the contents of a note the suspect had left elsewhere. Can you tell us about that note that the shooter left?
So I can't yet. Again, those are things that are still being processed for accuracy and verification, and will be included in charging documents.
Okay, so
Oh, now they want to fucking dial it back. Okay. Not when it comes to speculating about the involvement of the trans roommate, but certainly when it comes to the actual note, can't reveal that. Sorry. That note was written by the white guy who pulled the trigger, by the way, which is crazy.
But the note was found, or the content of the note is known by law enforcement?
Again, I can't share any specifics. They're looking at everything right now.
Understood. I just want to go back to my first question about what you told the Wall Street Journal about that this is a person indoctrinated with leftist ideology. And the reason why I think it would be great to be more specific is because your goal of trying to lower the temperature, you said that this is based on investigation and interviews with people who knew him. Did they just use the term leftist ideology, or did they give specifics?
Yeah, there are conversations that were discussed specifically about Charlie Kirk, other conversations about the direction that this was going. And look, my job is just to tell people I really don't have a dog in this fight. If this was MAGA and a
No, you do, bro. You definitely have a dog in this fight. You have admitted that you have a dog in this fight. You have the biggest dog in the fight. What the fuck? We wouldn't have expected you to have a dog in the fight under different circumstances because you're the governor. Right now, it's very hard for us to assume you don't have a dog in the fight. You said you were praying, man. You were praying, man.
radicalized MAGA person, I would be saying that as well. If the friends were saying that, I would be sharing that as well. That's not what they're sharing. And so I do think it is important, again, to understand how someone gets radicalized like this. And in this case, it happened with, as much as people wish it wasn't or don't want it to be this, these are the facts that are being presented to us. If there
I can't believe it. Like, there have been so many high profile mass shootings, school shootings, children being targeted in this goddamn country by far right neo Nazis. We know where they get radicalized. We know how they get radicalized. We know what their worldview looks like. We know what major party they actually are close to ideologically. And yet, for some weird reason, this kind of question is never addressed. Can you perhaps tell me why this kind of question is never addressed when the overwhelming majority of these sorts of high-profile incidents? Bro, you are literally the most fake news guy ever. It's actually insane. You're a liar. Why? Especially in this moment, if you're calling me a liar, then you're saying that my assessment is incorrect. So you're saying the shooter is a Nazi then, because my assessment is the shooter is not likely to be a Nazi. Are you saying that I'm a liar? The shooter is definitely a groyper? Is that what you're saying? I haven't seen enough evidence that the shooter is a groyper. You're talking too fast for them? No, this person is not actually responding to anything that I'm saying. This person is responding to the idea that he's designed in his mind of who I am and what I must be pushing for.
are additional facts that would point otherwise, but family discussions, parents, this is what they're saying, and these, again, these things happen, and so it's okay to have these discussions.
Listen, absolutely, and I'm just trying to get more facts, more details of the facts that you're putting out there. One last question on that. You just said right now, which is something that you mentioned on Friday, is that he had discussions with family members about Charlie Kirk. Do you have specifics on what he was saying about Charlie Kirk to his family?
Just not a fan. That's all I can say.
Okay, not a specific reason why. McKay Cop.
Wow. You mean to tell me that the guy who shot and killed Charlie Kirk was not a fan of Charlie Kirk? That's great. Thank you. You really gave us a motive there. This clears up a lot of these questions. I was wondering if the guy who shot and killed Charlie Kirk was a fan of his or not.
From The Atlantic is reporting that President Trump called you after your remarks on Friday, and that the president told you, quote, you know, the type of person who would do something like that to Charlie Kirk would love to do it to us. What was your response to the president in that conversation?
Well, it was a long conversation, by the way. We talked about lots of things, but it was very sobering. And again, he's not wrong. I mean, as he knows better than anyone, as someone who literally was injured by a bullet. I mean, a fraction of an inch away from being killed a year ago. He understands that better than anyone. I would also just note that he also mentioned multiple times that he was grateful for the press conference and the message that we shared. And so I'm grateful, you know, that he's talked about nonviolence. He's quoted Charlie Kirk on the nonviolence issue. I understand he's also very angry, and I get that. This is his close personal friend, and anger is a normal reaction.
So he was grateful for the press conference. Others in his orbit, Governor, were not. Steve Bannon talked about you calling to tone down the rhetoric, saying that the following, saying Spencer Cox is a national embarrassment in a time where we need action. He tells us to sing Kumbaya and hold hands with Antifa. This is not a time for Triulki, pontificating. This is a time to declare Antifa a domestic terrorist organization and have the FBI go kick down some doors. What's your response to Steve Bannon?
Well, again, Mr. Bannon is angry, and rightfully so. And I'm not saying we have to just sing Kumbaya and hold hands. What I'm saying is we actually should disagree. I think Charlie represented that better than anyone. Charlie said some very inflammatory things, and in some corners of the web, that's all people have heard. But he also said some other things about forgiveness. He said some amazing things about when things get dark, putting down our phones, reading scripture, going to church. Talking to our neighbors, he said that we have to engage, and that's what I appreciate most about Charlie Kirk. Said if we don't keep talking, that's when the violence starts. Look, there are conflict entrepreneurs out there who benefit from radicalizing us, and I'm not one of those. I don't know that that's particularly helpful, but he is right at this. We need to find out how this happened, and we need to stop it from happening.
You called social media a cancer on our society. I know you have made talking about social media one of your key issues as governor of Utah. What should or even can government do to cure this cancer, as you call it?
Well, there's some things that we're working on for sure. We have to get phones out of the classroom. We're doing that in Utah. Many states are doing that right now. We have to hold the largest companies in the history of the world with combined $1 trillion market caps. We have to hold them responsible for the algorithms that are pushing us. Again, they're hijacking our agency. They're hijacking our free will with these dopamine hits. Same chemical reaction as fentanyl, getting us addicted to these platforms, and outrage releases a dopamine hit for sure. And they are taking no responsibility for this. In fact, they're suing the state of Utah to stop the most comprehensive social media reforms in the world's history. They're happening right here, and we absolutely have to hold them accountable.
Just real quick, you have said that we're in a dark chapter, and you're not sure if it's the end of a dark chapter or beginning of a darker one. Is your view of America right now shaken?
Yeah, I mean, if your view of America is not shaken right now, then there's something wrong with you. This is a direct assault on America, a direct assault on every single one of us. Of course, it's an assault on Charlie, and we love Erica and her kids and his family. But this is us. And this is our chance. This is our moment. We've had periods like this in the past. I mentioned the late 60s and early 70s. But if we're waiting for a president or a governor to get us out of this dark chapter, then it will never happen. We can't. I don't understand this. Again, giving our agency up, waking up every day and saying, well, what did the president say today? That's going to determine how I react. Or what does the governor say today? That makes no sense to me. Every one of us has to look in the mirror and decide, are we going to try to make it better, or are we going to make it worse? And I pray that God will help us find him again, and find our souls and find each other again.
Governor, thank you. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dana.
Have you watched the wife's speech yet? I mean, I have. I was planning on not doing it because I feel like it's just very strange, but here, we'll watch.
Full military honors. They brought him home to Arizona. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica, comforted on the tarmac by Usha Vance, the vice president's wife.
Oh, I love you.
She later posted this video of her husband's open coffin.
I love you so much. I love you.
Vowing that the global movement he built would never die.
God bless you.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country and this world. You have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry.
Police have removed a car from the home of the suspect, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, a neighbour revealing that she came face to face with him shortly after he's alleged to have carried out the shooting.
Looking over, seeing that he was limping, kind of being like, oh, okay. And then long black shirt, kind of thinking that's kind of weird. It's kind of super hot outside. It's kind of odd. I don't know. Like, now that I think about it, it's just very, like, chilling to me.
The killing of the conservative influencer who championed Donald Trump highlights the depth of division here. 83-year-old Marty has been protesting outside the White House for 7 years. He was no fan of Charlie Kirk, but longs for peaceful discourse.
I disagree with him on so many things. And certainly if he had been my neighbor, I would never have invited him to dinner nor accepted an invitation from him. Find him a reprehensible man, but political violence can only lead to political violence. There is no other outcome possible. And so killing somebody like him, absolutely unacceptable and absolutely the wrong direction for this country.
This has been described as a moment of reckoning for America, a potential watershed. But real change would require a tempering of the rhetoric by both sides, a commitment to the norms of political debate. And there are many who say that starts right here, at the top. A family is grieving for a husband and father. The Vice President is mourning a close personal friend. And America is confronting, yet again, the cost of polarising politics. David Blevins, Sky News in Washington.
In the wake of the murder of Charlie Kirk, celebrated in death for his embrace of freedom.
Dude, I can't get over the fact that like Democratic legislators were assassinated in their homes like what 2 months ago, and there was no conversation. It was like literally only there was a point of contention. There was a conversation about political violence because for like the first couple of hours they just cynically claimed that the shooter was a leftist. And then as soon as we found out that the shooter was right-wing, it went away. I can't believe it. It almost feels like the media design, the media landscape design here is like, if you are right-wing, you're a person, you're a human. If you're leftist, liberal, Democrat, doesn't matter. You're just not a human. Like you get killed. And it's not even a fucking footnote. Trump doesn't even show up to your funeral, calls you kooky, says you got lies about like why you got killed. Literally says like, oh, you did this to yourself. And then we just move on. For the last 24 hours, when there was a fucking back and forth about whether or not this person was like a Nazi or something, when it came out that he was like a, conservative, came from a conservative family, good stock, that type of shit, I thought the story was going to go away. But now that they found a way to slam trans and leftists back into the conversation, it's back again. It feels like it's so clearly one directional, like whose deaths we must mourn versus whose deaths we overlook. If it is a right-wing neo-Nazi shooter that is doing the 100th school shooting, you overlook that because it's just, who knows? Mental health. If there is even a likelihood that the shooter might be trans, though, we got to talk about that because, god damn it, is the left is so fucking violent. I don't know. It's so strange. It's so fucking strange.
Freedom of speech in life, tensions over speech are flaring. Utah Governor Spencer Cox on Friday calling for calm.
Charlie posted to social media, when things are moving very fast and people are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life.
But in the wake of Kirk's death, online fury indeed, and swift reaction to it, 2 faculty members at East Tennessee State University, among several in academia facing backlash, placed on administrative leave following complaints about their online comments. In Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis' education commissioner issued a warning to teachers making disgusting comments about the shooting. Writing in a memo, I will be conducting an investigation of...
This is literally what Republicans, once again, used to complain about the quote-unquote left. Liberals and leftists, cancel culture, free speech. They hate it. And it's so interesting to me that on the one hand, they are like, Charlie Kirk was a free speech icon. While on the other hand, they're just like bashing you in the head with this inconsistency where they're like, how dare you exercise free speech against a free speech icon like this? We're gonna fucking cancel you. Like, how, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I've seen so many interesting takes online about this where people will be like, people just say shit that I would never say because they're like, oh, we should do a free speech circle at every college campus in honor of Charlie Kirk. And then someone will cold retweet it and say something that I'm not even going to fucking say out loud because I don't want to get clipped because everybody's trying to fucking cook me. But it's so strange that like people are like, they made a doxing website, like a Canary Mission, Israel style doxing website. Nee, je maakt me Spanish verdernis. Watch them. They made a doxing website to identify anyone who hasn't like sufficiently mourned or grieved Charlie Kirk. And they got 20,000 names and their addresses and shit on said website. And they're claiming that these people actually contributed to Charlie Kirk dying.
Every educator who engages in this
no shot that's true? Huh. It sounds incredible, right? It sounds insane, right? Except it's not. It's real. That's a real thing that they did. Microsoft tweeted, we are aware the views expressed by a small subset of our employees regarding recent events. We take matters like this very seriously, and we're currently reviewing each individual situation. Comments celebrating violence against anyone are unacceptable and do not align with our values.
And my name is...
What is this? Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm first on the website, and the North American far right is using to target people that celebrate Charlie Kirk's death. There's one problem. I never did that.
Currently first on a website claiming to expose Charlie Kirk's murderers. You might be wondering how I got here. I'm kind of wondering that too. I already told this story to Wired, but let me tell it to you now in my own words. Because for the last 2 days, I've been getting messages like this non-stop, claiming to know where I live and saying they're coming for me. Now, what did I say to deserve all of this? Let's go to the website and read the screenshots that they included of me celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. I said I was terrified to think of how far-right fans of Kirk, aching for more violence, could very well turn this into an even more radicalizing moment. Will they now believe their fears have been proven right and feel they have a right to retaliate regardless of who actually was behind the initial shooting? That analysis came from the fact that I am an experienced journalist who has extensively covered right-wing extremism. That's also why, by the way, a lot of people hate me and want to shut me up. And I was immediately proven right. Many far-right personalities are using this as an excuse to agitate and retaliate against their political enemies. That includes former conservative leader Andrew Scheer, because this is where it all started for me. The hate massively escalated when former Conservative leader and sitting currently Conservative MP Andrew Scheer took my words and called me twisted and said I have so much hate in me. Pierre Poilievre's wife also boosted this post. Then things got even worse when I got a DM from a friend of mine telling me about this website. She sent me the link, and at first I thought she must have sent me the link to the direct post about me on this website. But then I double checked the link and I realized this was the homepage. My name was first. And then things exploded. The flood of threats turned into a tsunami. And as it escalated, I shared that I was scared. Then several massive American right-wing accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers took a screenshot of that.
Bro, that is like, they proved her right, dude. They were like, yeah, wait till you see how right your initial assessment was, which is ironic because we're mad about your initial assessment. Okay, then don't prove it right, you fucking psycho. The problem with this kind of behavior online is that they actually love crying as they hit you, you know? That's it. Do not go on that website. There's probably a bunch of different malware and keyloggers, IP trackers and shit on that website, for the record.
And shared it saying I deserved it without showing what I actually said. And suddenly I was like the face of people celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, even though that literally never happened. And it's made the last 48 hours of my life a living hell. Every single person who's ever disliked me is using this as a chance to get their pound of flesh. But this is the part I really want you to hear. It's not just me. There are tons of people listed on this site who aren't public figures, who have never dealt with this before, and I am terrified for them. Some of the posts on this website are private messages. People are snitching on folks in their lives. And if they've received what I've received in the last 48 hours, which I'm sure they have, I'm so...
This is like 2016 Trump's first election. No, Republicans were never this Republicans in 2016 were yelling at the liberals because the institutions were still like slanted in the direction of liberalism. This is a totally new phenomena. Republicans used to cry and complain about this kind of shit, where now they're doing it. It's the same as Republicans talk about cancel culture or like for years and years saying like, oh, Democrats hate free dissemination of information. They hate free speech, while simultaneously turning around and being like, things are woke, things are CRTs, things are DEI. We have to delete them. That is a real initiative to change American history, and it's a successful one. Just like when these guys go, Charlie Kirk was a free speech champion. How dare you use your free speech to criticize him in the aftermath of his untimely demise? You need to be punished. You need to lose your freedom.
So worried about them. People are out for blood right now. And there are people out there who are using this moment irresponsibly to serve up their perceived political enemies as a sacrifice. And for what? They're just proving me right. And I just really hope no one makes good on these threats, because I now have to live as if they might.
Ted Cruz posted this. Oh my God. What the fuck is, dude? The AI. What? Criticizing someone does not equal celebrating their death. You keep repeating this. What you on about, bro? Are you talking to me? I never said criticizing someone is an equal to celebrating their death. They're the ones who are saying that. Republicans are saying that. They're conflating the two. There's perhaps no better. I mean, look at whose community you're in. Okay? I never celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. As a matter of fact, I was pretty shook by it. And obviously, I would never advocate for violence against a political enemy, especially Charlie Kirk. Even from ideological points of view, I don't believe that this is the appropriate measure. But also outside of that, I'd be putting myself in the fucking crosshairs too. So even from a self-preservation perspective, you should understand, like, nobody who's going to go sit next to fucking Charlie Kirk on a debate stage is going to be advocating for him to be assassinated, right? But that hasn't changed people's minds. They're consistently saying over and over again that, like, I did this. My community did this. I've advocated for this. And there needs to be some kind of punishment.
Sanctionable behavior. Govern yourselves accordingly. The fallout also appearing in corporate America. Delta Airlines announcing it suspended several employees over their social media posts.
I'm sorry, we don't put that here.
Office Depot firing a Michigan employee who called a poster for a Kirk Vigil propaganda and refused to print it. The company apologizing, saying in a statement, the behavior displayed by our associate is completely unacceptable and insensitive. The response also in the federal government. A Secret Service agent put on administrative leave with an investigation underway following comments described as inappropriate. Tonight, a line being drawn over discourse.
You should be allowed to say outrageous things. You should be.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about this shit too? Like, brother, half the time people are yelling at others who are not celebrating Charlie Kirk's death or anything like that, but simply saying this is what he believed and putting his quotes on. People are getting fired for posting Charlie Kirk quotes. What the fuck? Like, what are we doing? You're gonna, like what the hell? There are mad people getting fired right now, left and right, after these, like, the conservative outrage machine is in full tilt, okay? Going nutty mode on the timeline. I said, these guys are talking about how much they love Charlie Kirk's free speech and then demanding people get fired for posting his direct quotes. Meet U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Ladnier, the Provost Marshal of Fort Eustis, Virginia. He has thoughts about the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and they don't seem in the least sympathetic. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. Charlie Kirk. MLK was awful, Kirk said. He's not a good person. He said one good thing he actually didn't believe. Charlie Kirk, December 2023. The Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white weapon. Charlie Kirk, March 2025. I don't like the word empathy. I think empathy is a made-up New Age term that does a lot of damage. Also, Charlie Kirk. It's just quotes. Like, Charlie Kirk's assessment on this, if sincere, is that, like he said, you could say outrageous shit. Like, you could literally celebrate, as he did with, like, George Floyd and numerous other people. You should be able to unironically celebrate it and not see any repercussions for it. That's his worldview. That's not even my worldview. You know what I mean? But these guys aren't even doing that. These guys are just simply showing quotes, which is good. Like, you know, that's not even what these people are doing, right? He never celebrated, you liar. He never celebrated what? Isn't that not your view, though? So why are you saying, yeah, free speech means you don't go to jail, not people don't think you're a horrible person or an idiot? Dumbass. We're talking about the fucking American government taking action against people who they have perceived as political enemies by using what happened to Charlie Kirk as this spark. What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't give a fuck about, like, people's distaste or anger. Who's gone to jail? Are you going to be outside of the jail when it happens? Are you going to be protesting? What do you mean, who's gone to jail? I'm talking about what the president has said so far, you fucking baboon. What the fuck do you mean, who's gone to jail? That's what the president said. Take it up with him. Why are you yelling at me? Stephen Miller said we're going to hit a RICO charge on anybody that's ever exhibited what they consider to be bad opinions, and you're over here yelling at a fucking Twitch streamer. Oh. So somebody said that nothing has happened. Listen, dipshit, you can't say somebody when that somebody that we're talking about is the fucking president, and the other is like one of the most notable the administration's most notable advisor, Stephen Miller. What the fuck do you mean somebody? Also, this administration has already put people in jail for their speech. Mahmoud Khalil comes to mind. Do you remember? For criticizing Israel. I'm sure you didn't have a lot of issues with that either, because ultimately you don't have any sort of serious principle that you're fucking abiding by. This screenshot at post makes no criticism held. This could be a fan simply quoting his favorite lines. Charlie was such a fucked up guy that quoting him implicitly reads as trying to make him look bad. That's deeply sad. This was his life's work. Own it. If Obama said we're going to war with the right, we are going to dismantle all right-wing organizations that arrest those right-wing terrorists, the right would be up in arms. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Many of the quotes are out of context, though. I feel like sharing them like this is weird. Okay, here's a quote that's not out of context. When Charlie Kirk was asked, you have a 10-year-old daughter, okay? If she was raped, would you carry a pregnancy to term because of your anti-abortion stance? His answer was yes, okay? That was not out of context. He just straight up said, yes. That's the level that he was willing to ride or die for his worldview. He said, yes, the child will be delivered. So one must ask the question, why? Like, why do you find yourself going, oh, these are out of context? Because there are instances where people get clipped out of context. Like, for example, the empathy quote, he said on numerous occasions. On some occasions, he follows that up by saying he actually cares about sympathy, but that's for a different day, for example. Or in certain instances, because he said the empathy thing a lot. He said that it was invented by Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, I believe. Like, there have been a million different places where he said this, and sometimes he follows that up with, I have compassion, and we should have compassion. Okay, so in that regard, you could say, oh, it's out of context. Okay, your time on this platform is numbered. Oh my God. Once again, this is deplatforming. It's a separate thing. This is not free speech, right? Free speech is when the government intervenes in speech, which the government is intervening in speech. So when I talk about like Donald Trump or Stephen Miller talking about prosecuting political dissidents for their speech, that's what I'm talking about. That's actually anti-free speech. When we talk about cancel culture, okay, when we talk about cancel culture and this kind of like deplatforming initiatives, this is another thing that the Republicans have routinely criticized and yelled about, and Charlie Kirk has done so as well. Do you understand? Republicans are doing that now, and they've never really stopped doing that, but they're doing it a lot more aggressively now. They just keep crying and going, your days are numbered. You need to be banned. You need to be banned. Why? Because you misunderstood something, or you got inflamed, you got whipped up into a frenzy to believe things, to believe that I've said things that I don't actually believe. Is that what happened? That's it. This guy just posted quotes, though. It seems like just posting the quotes implies he thinks because he said X is fine that he died. First of all, That's your assessment of the situation. Okay? That's your assessment of the situation. That's not what he said. But even if he fucking implied that, you're adding that assessment onto it, assuming that he implied that, okay? He could very easily feel that political violence is completely unacceptable, as do I, right? He could feel like Charlie Kirk did not deserve this, as did I, but simultaneously make an accurate assessment of his worldview in the process. He didn't say any other words. The reason you have to ask yourself, okay, why do you feel this way? Why do you feel like this makes Charlie Kirk look bad? If these are positions that he's had, and these are positions he has defended on college campuses, but now when you look back at it and it makes you feel bad, ask yourself why. And I know, I mean, this is an issue that hits close to home for me because I say incendiary shit all the time too, especially in my most passionate moments. Okay? If there was a role reversal, everybody would be talking about how a terrorist has been taken out, one that loved 9/11 and wants to do more 9/11. Now that is an improper assessment of my words. But if they were to say America deserved 9/11, that'd be a quote. Do you understand? Does that quote reveal the full extent of my worldview or what I implied when I was talking about that? No, of course not. I was talking about the concept of blowback. But this statement, the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast is now turned into an anti-white weapon. This is something that he did believe. This is like, even if there is more to there's more nuance to it, the nuance is still in the direction of Charlie Kirk not being misconstrued here, but simply not being able to fully defend his position of how white people are under attack in the aftermath of the Civil Rights Act. Do you get it? Out of context for a quote only works if within context the meaning of those words or the direction of those words change. Okay? If the meaning and the direction of the words don't change with additional context, then it's apt.
Oh, here.
It's
Okay,
just
so
an
I've been
abbreviated
muted.
version.
I've been muted, Hassan. So I've been
That's the
roasting
difference.
you this entire time. So do you see how Charlie
So
Kirk
if
is
you
telling
feel
you that
as
he is
though
just a mortal
these things
man?
do not look in a positive light, do not leave
And when shit hits the
you
fan,
feeling
are you
positively
still a
about Charlie
fan?
Kirk, then you probably
Kendrick
don't
Lamar
agree
has
with
a
Charlie
song
Kirk.
about this. How many
You've just
people are going
conditioned
to go
yourself into
once you
thinking that
have
you
an
agree with his
interview and once
worldview,
you interview Charlie
but you
Kirk
probably
in
don't.
the afterlife?
Do you understand?
What worldview is on? Are you
Even the
punching up or
example I
punching
used earlier, the
down
one that like
at
Elon Musk
this
keeps
man?
highlighting, where I'm talking about like Democrats need to be way more vicious. They need to be shanking their opponents in the debate stage, right? That's not a real call to action.
Yes, it is.
I'm using a metaphor in that
No,
regard
they have-
to say Democrats need to become more aggressive and actually
Okay,
fight back on the
Hassan,
debate stage. I'm
but
talking
the
about
people
literally
that
a
are
debate,
listening
right?
to you, that
But
are of
they clipped it
significantly
in a way
lower IQ
to make it
and
seem
have
as
a
though I'm
lot
saying
less
Democrats
to
need to like
lose than
kill their
you,
political
actually
opposition.
go
They
out
need to
and
like
kill
stab and kill their
people.
political opposition.
Yes, by
That
using
is a
that
great
language,
example of something
you just
being out of
advocated
context.
for Charlie Kirk to be gunned down in broad daylight and hit from 200 yards out by a professionally trained shooter. This
Yeah,
guy
it was the
is a
Warnock-Walker debate that I was
monster.
talking about.
Tyler Robinson is a monster, and there's no justice that exists that is legal for the family of Charlie Kirk to get out of this entire situation.
These quotes
And
are
they
out of
have to
context, though.
listen to
Then
people
explain why
celebrate.
and how.
Just because he didn't like people that
Because
constantly harassed
I know Charlie
and
Kirk's
abused
worldview
him
very well.
while he was
I've
just
debated him,
trying to have a good time and talk to people.
and I know what
he
he
didn't
believes.
force anybody to go about
I've
his
talked about
day.
his views
He did not
on
take,
a
he did
million
not
different
take
occasions.
Any type of
We both rose to
resources
prominence
away
at the
from
same
it.
time
Like
in
these,
our
like, these
respective
are horrible fucking people.
sides of the ideological spectrum.
It's not funny.
And these things are not out of context. Like when Charlie Kirk was taking an anti-MLK tone,
Hassan, the
that
left
was
is
real. That was a
extremely
deliberate.
deranged.
That wasn't like he loved MLK, actually, and he was just simply saying
And the
like
left is still trying to
MLK
frame
actually,
him as
you
a
know,
Republican that
when he says
dated a
MLK was awful,
transsexual.
Kirk said he's not a good
In
person.
what
He said one
world
good thing
do
he
you
actually
live
didn't
in
believe.
where the
So
right-
when you actually
where
look
a
at that quote, do you think he
Republican-
was saying actually MLK is awful at
No,
playing
he is a
basketball
guy
or
that has
something? You think
been-
that's what he was
has
talking about,
been
and that's why the
dealing
context
with
is actually
abuse
totally
for 5+ years.
totally removed from this situation?
Look at every
MLK
time
was awful.
Somebody put together a montage of Charlie Kirk being attacked while he's trying to do his show, where he took up no campus resources.
MLK was
and
awfully
sat
good at
outside of
speaking.
campus and did nothing.
And then they ripped the
left
last
is
part, and they just
extremely
kept MLK was
intolerant,
awful.
And they are awful people.
Or do you feel like you kind of agree with his worldview, but when it's laid bare in front of you, you just have a hard time with it? No, I literally highlighted it. I didn't steal the joke, chatter. I highlighted it.
Be allowed to say contrarian things.
In the wake of the assassination of a man who defended it, Steve Patterson, NBC News.
We thank you for watching. And
well, this week's fruitcake is President-elect of the Oxford Union, the world's leading debating society. His name is George Aberronye. He debated against Charlie Kirk back in May.
So, of course, you have the agency to do that. With all due respect, have you been to London the last 10 years? Men can do whatever they want.
I live in London.
Are they happier? Men can dress how they want. Men can act how they want. They can go to any club. Has it worked?
Yeah, but also we've had austerity. There are other factors outside of simply just
Do you see what you're doing, respectfully? You're scrambling for an excuse to get away from...
Like this one is one of the worst videos of like the outrage that has been manufactured in the aftermath. New Arizona sports outlet Phoenix Sports has fired lead Phoenix Suns reporter Gerald Bourguet. I don't know how you say his last name. After he questioned why outrage over right-wing activist Charlie Kirk's killing was louder than outrage over school shootings, mass deportations, or the hundreds of videos of horrific murders in Gaza, which Kirk cheered on. Phoenix, in a statement, said the network takes matters involving violence very seriously and had parted ways with Bourguet to keep its community a safe place. Gerald Bourguet was not endorsing violence, but was urging readers to apply the same moral standard to all killings. He wrote, "To many of you who are more concerned with being polite and appearing to be good people rather than showing some damn backbone and standing on the principle to condemn hate, the network did not explain how his comments made Phoenix less safe." Bourguet's case joins a wave of recent firings and suspensions, including an MSNBC Bourguet. Okay, Bourguet. Bourguet's case joins a wave of recent firings and suspensions, including an MSNBC analyst, a FEMA employee, a Carolina Panther staffer, over commentary on Kirk's death. Explain to me how this is unacceptable. Political differences are not the same thing as spewing hateful rhetoric on a daily basis, and refusing to mourn a life devoted to that cause is not the same thing as celebrating gun violence. Just so we're 100% clear on that. He was a father. Half of y'all didn't give a damn about doing anything to stop gun violence when the victims of mass shootings were literal children. And those kids weren't bigots spreading genocidal propaganda or a mindset he directly fed into with this holy grail of ironies. If you're saddened by today's political violence, horrified by the video, or repulsed by my response, ask yourself why your reaction was different. when it came to school shootings, mass deportations, the hundreds of videos of horrific murders in Gaza, which Kirk cheered on. Truly don't care if you think it's insensitive or poor timing to decline the respect an evil man who died. Too many of you are more concerned with being polite and appearing to be good people rather than showing some damn backbone and standing on principle to condemn hate. Don't you think that quoting someone like Charlie Kirk in a way that paints them in a strongly negative light by not providing context, if it is out of context, if something is truly out of context, and you try to frame someone in a hyper negative light, you are trying to either tarnish their reputation, smear them, or in the most maximalist position, even potentially trying to get people to engage in violent actions against them. Yes, this is true. But you have to prove how Charlie Kirk was being taken out of context in these instances and how this was not his worldview at all. Was Charlie Kirk pro-Civil Rights Act? If the answer is no, then it's not out of context. Okay? If Charlie Kirk has Charlie Kirk said that he would be worried about a black pilot, is that out of context? Or is that actually in context? I mean the gun take mostly. Oh, you mean this one? Charlie Kirk says gun deaths unfortunately worth it to keep the Second Amendment. Did he say that or did he not say that? He said there are people who die in society all the time. 40,000 people a year died to vehicular accidents. Okay, I know the actual quote. He said there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people who die due to gun violence. Is that unfortunate? Yes. But that is worth it to keep the Second Amendment. He said the risks outweigh the results. So how is the additional context that I just offered you changing what he just said? Unless you believe it is worth it, like all the gun deaths are worth it to keep the Second Amendment, which many people do believe, right? Many people do believe. Charlie Kirk certainly believed it. What doesn't make sense in this circumstance is like if you believe it and Charlie believed it and you argue for it and Charlie argued for it, why are you saying it's out of context? I don't agree with the gun take. I'm European. I just feel like demonizing right-wing figures leads to these situations. Dog,
I'm bloodthirsty.
you're the one who is adding
Shut up,
the
fatty.
demonic
Your shit's
tint
retarded.
to Charlie Kirk's statement. Do you not understand this?
Your shit's
Okay,
retarded.
there
Talking
are
about
tens
fag,
of
dude.
millions of Americans that listened to Charlie Kirk say that and went, I love this take. What a wonderful take. I'm going to repeat this take. I believe
like
it.
you say
Charlie
it
Kirk
was a bunch of
certainly
your
was one
shit.
of those people who
Buddy,
believed it.
your
It's not like he
side
went back and
just
said,
did that.
actually, I was misunderstood.
Your
I
side
think we
just
should
did
eradicate
that,
gun
bro.
violence. I think we need some reasonable gun
Your
control. He didn't
side
say that. He
just-
said
you just
violence is a constant.
instigated
It's
a
going to
guy to
happen.
get shot, Hassan.
Okay?
How delusional
And if that's
are
what it
you?
takes, you know,
You're
if
so arrogant,
violence keeps
dude. I
happening with
fucking
guns,
hate you so
it is what it
much.
is. That's a price I'm willing to take. I'm willing to have
This
gun
guy
violence
just
as long as I can keep my
radicalized
guns.
Someone to shoot Charlie Kirk.
So if you hear someone's opinion like this, okay, it's additionally funny because you're fucking European. But you hear someone's opinions like this being reflected on, and you feel like it's poor, like you feel like this doesn't actually look good, then you've made that assessment in your mind. Now, are there instances where people actually actively try to lie about a person's position? Yes, there are. Okay? There are. It happens to me all the time. I'm sure it happens to Charlie as well, or it happened to Charlie as well in the past, right? It happens to right wingers, it happens to left wingers. It's an unfortunate part of this process, okay? But it is up to you to make that honest assessment and make up your own mind. You can't have it both ways. You can't be like, the appropriate thing to do here is to lie about a person's positions, to lie about their advocacy. I feel like it's distasteful. It's a disservice to their political output. One last question. Do you think throwing the word fascist has gone too far? No. The fuck? No, of course not. Dude, you're in the chat of a person who gets called a fucking terrorist every day. What do you mean? Okay?
You are a terrorist.
There's
You
actual
just
violence against
radicalized
those who are declared
base
terrorists.
into
There is no
shooting
violence
Charlie
against
Kirk.
those who are declared fascists, okay? Historically, yes. Contemporary society, fuck no.
What that just
If someone is
happened.
behaving like a fascist, of course you have to call that out.
There's no
What good
violence because
is
they're
any assessment of
coddled.
history if
You
we're not
are
going to use it
fascist,
to
Hassan.
interpret modern day events?
There is a
Okay?
famous quote of
That's it.
Hassan saying somebody
Are you
should
for or
kill
against
him.
gun control? I'm for gun control.
He has guns literally on the screen right now. What are you even saying, brother, man? There's 2 guns in view right now. There's swords.
You know what's really funny?
Multiple weapons.
If you want to see the term fascist being utilized inappropriately, look to every right-wing commentator, including but not limited to Charlie Kirk, when they're living under a Democratic leadership. Okay? Donald Trump has called the Democrats fascists. Charlie Kirk has done the same. Okay? That's what's so funny about it. These guys will be like, oh man, I can't believe you're calling my mass deportation policies. My mass deportation policies that harken back to the darkest chapters of global history, the Holocaust. You're calling them correctly fascist. That is really fucked up. You're doing violence against me. Yeah, here, look.
American politics today is between these far-left fascists, led by Harris and her group. We have a fascist person running who's incompetent. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, socialist. She's not actually a socialist. She's gone past that. Somebody's got to explain this woman. This is a radical left Marxist, communist, fascist.
While drunk, I said, you know,
It's just so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. There is no consistency, no honesty in our
She's
discourse,
like Mr.
man.
Garrison. She's like a Mr. Garrison, dude.
Yeah.
Same with all these
This entire
fucking
campaign to
left
cancel and get fired every person who says something critical of Charlie Kirk after his assassination is clearly something the right has the power to do,
We would've
just
had
as the
4
left
years
had the
of
power to
Mr.
do it
Garrison
to
lecturing
people who offended them at the height of cancel
All right,
culture. It was
students,
wrong then when the
we're
left did it, and
gonna-
it's wrong now
we're gonna
that the
send
right is
y'all
doing it.
off to
You either
war
believe in
to
debate and
fight
free speech in the First
Israel.
Amendment,
Y'all
or you
need to
don't.
get
Clearly, very
blood.
few
We're gonna
people
go to
believe in
war
that
with
anymore.
Europe to
The
go
problem for
fight
those of you who reject that founding
and the rest
idea
of the
is that the
world.
only
We're-
other
we're
alternative is
sick of the
violence, and that's
Jews.
absurd. We're not resolving our
We
conflict
spent
violently. It's just not possible.
7,
So
8
go ahead and
years
reproduce
talking
this
about
right-wing, this new right-wing cancel culture to replace left-wing cancel culture. Now, the reason why I don't agree with Ryan Grimm here entirely, sometimes he is a little boomer-coded, is because there's never been a moment in American history where the right has not celebrated cancel culture. Everybody does it. But the right is also very good at marketing. They do it, and while they're in the process of doing it, they claim it's just the left's doing. And that actually stuck for a very long time. Okay? That actually stuck for a very long time. There has never been historic left-wing movements against curbing speech. Never. Whether it be McCarthyism, which was, again, a government-sanctioned operation directly in violation of the First Amendment, or whether it be making it illegal for a card-carrying communist to be a union leader, for example, right? I believe, was it Taft-Hartley that made it so? Or whether it be taking out directly and engaging in an interception and subversion for left-wing revolutionary movements in the height of the civil rights struggle, or going after dissidents that spoke out against the war on terror, for example. There has never been a moment where these real incursions, these real measures that the government has taken that is in violation of the First Amendment has ever been directionally applied by left-wing governments against right-wing dissidents. That has never happened. It's always one direction, okay? And if we're talking about cancel culture, which is a different thing, right? If we're talking about the First Amendment, that's different. That's the government, right? The government doing something, the government penalizing speech, the government creating a chilling effect on speech by stopping demonstrations from taking place, for example, right? That is the First Amendment. That's a violation of the First Amendment, whether it be the current active anti-BDS legislation that exists in 38 states in the United States of America, where you can be fired from your job for ever engaging in the peaceful act of demanding boycotts, demanding sanctions, or demanding divestments from the state of Israel, a foreign state. That is illegal in 38 states. You can be fired. Okay? Whether it be that or all these other initiatives where the government tries to actively suppress speech, it's never been directionally left-wing, okay? Its targets have always been left-wing movements, progressive movements, socialist movements, communist movements, and it's always been pushed by right-wingers, okay?
Dude, you cause someone
On the
to get
other
shot
side,
and
if we're going to
killed
talk
in front
about
of his
cancel
family.
culture, okay?
You cause someone to get shot and killed in front of
Even
their
on the
family.
cancel culture front,
You
in
cause
terms
someone to
of
get shot and killed in front of their
trying
family.
to actively suppress certain things from being talked about, right-wingers are very successful with that too. They always have been. Even at the heat of the cancel culture of the left, where the left was like chirping at people on Twitter trying to get them fired or whatever, right? The right never stopped manufacturing outrage. The right never stopped manufacturing outrage, farming outrage against those who they consider to be political dissidents. They never stopped book burnings. They never stopped book cancellations. They've always done this. I noticed that as the right wing keeps trying to cancel you the past week, you actually have more viewers on now. No, that's only because there is like a lot of attention on this issue and people want to hear what my take is. Okay? That's not violence. No, it's not. We're talking about the hypocrisy of right-wingers talking about how they abhor cancel culture while participating in it and celebrating it against their ideological opponents. I'll give you one great example. I have never advocated for Asmongold to be banned off this platform for a multitude of different horrifying shit that he's said, for things that he's advocated for that I find to be morally repugnant. I've never demanded it. Asmongold, between me and him, for right-wingers, is seen as the free speech champion, right? He has demanded that I get deplatformed basically every single day that he has live streamed since Donald Trump became president. Every single fucking day. I've not once, even after he said the genocide thing, I did not demand that he get deplatformed or banned off this platform because I know that that kind of shit is only going to be awful for me in the long run as well, because as someone who is a leftist, I have a lot of opinions that are considered not great by those in positions of power, both the liberals on the Democratic side and also the Republican side alike. Asmongold has demanded that not only do I get deplatformed, he's demanded I get arrested. He's demanded that I get investigated by the federal government. He is celebrated when that has taken place. So how can you tell me that's actually a real fucking free speech advocate? How can you tell me that he hates cancel culture? That's it. This is the inconsistency. I cry as I strike you. This is how the right operates. Okay? With so many people calling for you to be deplatformed, why do you think you've avoided it happening? Because I play by the rules. Relax, buddy. I don't want to hear what your take is. I'm trying to wait for Clint Stevens to go online. Okay, well, good luck with that, buddy. That's never going to happen.
Clint Stevens?
Because I play by the rules. Also, I have been suspended before on this platform for, you know,
For
understandable
calling for
reasons.
violence.
But I've also been
For calling
deplatformed
for
on
violence and stuff like
on
that.
Twitch
No,
for
no biggie.
ridiculous reasons as well.
No
Like when I
biggie,
got
just
fucking
calling for
okay,
violence.
be for real. I am being for real.
Just
Good
calling
luck.
for
You're never.
violence.
That's not happening. Slap on the wrist.
Just calling
Wait, what
for
do you mean?
violence.
That's what the platform issues. I'm sorry. Slap on the wrist. What the fuck should the platform have done when they caved to insane right-wing cries about how I called someone a cracker bitch? They gave me 7 days for that. Do you feel like that was a slap on the wrist? How long should I have been banned for calling someone a cracker ass bitch?
30 days.
Forsen got banned for 30 days.
I
What
was
the
right.
fuck does that got to do with me?
I said it first. 30 days. Take
Did
it or
Forsen
leave it.
get banned for saying cracker for
Ban-
that?
ban
Really?
his son
Okay,
right
well
now
take
for
it up with the
inciting
platform.
violence.
That's fucking ridiculous.
He's being aggressive right now. He needs to be banned.
Wait, what do you
Put
mean
this
for that
dog down.
zero?
This dog needs to be caged.
He got banned 30 days
Someone
for showing
do-
animal
someone
porn.
fucking-
I think when that happened, I literally talked about
He
how
should be
this was
arrested
not
for
his
that.
fault as well, by the way, which is ironic because like Forsen
Who the fuck
Forsen
has
fans
animal
will
porn on
somehow
their
make
fucking
that my
computer?
fault for some weird reason. Like they unironically think I
just saw
have
Mark Zuckerberg.
control over who gets banned and who doesn't get banned on this platform. There have been many instances where like someone has gotten banned because he clicked on Forsen clicked on a fucking GIF. If we're talking about that, he clicked on a fucking GIF that literally was, I think it was like something different, and then it turned into a GIF of a horse cock, and he got banned for it. And I, at the time, I remember, you know, I thought that was ridiculous because he got baited into clicking on a link. Like it's not his fucking fault. Someone else linked him a GIF that turned into horse cock. But does that matter to that chatter? No, because he's just trying to fucking deflect. Because deep down inside, he thinks I have control over who gets banned and who doesn't. And I only get hands on the wrist. What did he say? I don't care about cracker, but the Hamas takes deserve 30 for sure. Well, good thing you don't get to fucking issue these bans, you dumb fuck.
Yeah,
What do you mean the Hamas take deserves 30? Do you not realize you're doing the thing that I'm talking about? Right-wingers who unironically talk about how they're champions of fucking free discourse, turning around and being like, I don't like your free discourse. I don't like the thing that you said. So you should be fucking banned for 30 days. You're a goddamn idiot. What the fuck do you mean the Hamas take? Which take? That rapes happening on October 7th do not justify genocide? Do you think that's a take that I should be banned for? Are you fucking psychotic? Hey, mods, please ban this guy for 30 days because he hurt my feelings. That's
Buddy,
all you're doing.
see, this
That's all you're
guy
doing.
is-
I didn't
this
understand
guy
what he
is
was
played
saying.
out, buddy. It's literally
When you
like
said they're
anybody
necessary
on my
evil- wait,
side
you
should
think
not
that?
be punished.
You
Hey,
think, no, I didn't say they're
You cannot
necessary evil.
retaliate
I
against
said
my side.
that they are the lesser
What
evil
the
in
f-
comparison
it's
to
just
Israel, which is doing a genocide. That's a
It's just
take that I
like
stand by.
anybody-
It's been
anybody
reported
that's
on
my
numerous
team
times on Fox
cannot
News
be
and everywhere else.
retaliated against.
Okay?
Stop
Of course someone has
fighting
to
back.
resist against
He's
a
he's
genocidal
cop.
apartheid state. What
He's
the
a
fuck are we
cop.
talking
He's like,
about?
Stop resisting! Stop resisting! This dude's a fucking cop. He's like, stop resisting! Stop resisting! He's fucking 5-0. He's like Reno 911 of the
Thank
political
God
leftists.
people are not making these
Stop
fucking idiotic
resisting.
decisions
And
and these
his
idiotic
son needs to
assessments
start wearing a
over
Reno
there
911 fucking
in the halls of power inside of Twitch.
Is the joke that he was the cop on Reno 911? Am I missing the joke completely?
Okay.
Was he in an episode of Reno 911?
Asmongold straight up said that Palestinians are inferior people that deserve genocide. He
They
got 14
are.
days for that.
Buddy,
Okay?
aren't they like inbred
14
or
days for
something?
saying that.
Both
Can you
of them
imagine a
are
world where
fucking
I would say
inbred
the same,
retards.
but for Israel?
That's what happens when you fucking.
I'm not even going to
They're
entertain
gonna
the
end up
reverse
being
hypothetical because I don't
zombies
want someone to
that-
clip
that's
me
what
out of
happens when
context and
you-
act like
when
I
you
believe
barricade
that.
off a fucking area and don't let
Okay?
them fucking converse with anybody. They become inbred and they're inferior people.
Do you understand
That's what happens, buddy.
Also, once again, I've been banned more times than all of your favorite fucking edgy
Stop
streamers.
resisting!
So that's
Stop
what's hilarious
resisting!
about this process, where people will be like, "You just get slaps on the wrist, bro." I get banned more than your favorite fucking gamers that love using gamer words and shit. Okay.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Just to be clear, I agree with you on a lot of things, but the Hamas takes I disagree with. Okay, well, that doesn't matter, does it? How are people like this real? I've only ever watched stuff on YouTube, but Twitch chat is something else. Is all you have? No, you didn't. Yeah, he doesn't have any clip or anything like that. He couldn't even find a fucking clip out of context that he could like present here to be like, well, this is what you said. Anyway, I'm glad that your misunderstandings about my positions are not enough for Twitch to be like, time to ban this guy for 30 fucking days. But if you're wondering why I don't get banned, it's not because I have like some kind of blackmail over the fucking Twitch moderators, or because I'm Dan Clancy's favorite content creator or whatever, because once again, I've been banned more times than most of your favorite content creators on this platform, regardless. Okay? But the real reason is because I play ball. I do. I try to stay to the best of my ability, even when I'm talking about hot button issues, within the confines of the existing terms of service. That's it. And anyone who tries to fucking present an alternative reality to you is actually lying and relying on your lack of interest in finding out the fucking truth. Okay? That's it. One of the best examples is like people will turn around and be like, bro, Hassan was waving a gun around. He was like threatening. He was threatening somebody. He wanted to kill somebody. He's not only going to get banned for sure off of Twitch, but he's actually going to go to prison forever. Okay, that's what the motherfuckers were saying. It didn't happen. Then they went, oh, he must have blackmail on, I guess, the law enforcement that refused to take action. Or maybe it was because someone was issuing a death threat against me and I waved my fucking airsoft gun, not a real gun, a fake one, and said, good luck. That would be a little ridiculous, right? Don't you think? Anyway. The very same people that fucking celebrated when Moist Critical did the exact same thing to Sneeko, all of a sudden had a different opinion when it was me.
The truth that's right in front of you. I mean, maybe men should get married and have children.
Okay, but I think
because it's worked for 2,000 years.
I just think it's a very
But after Charlie Kirk's murder, he sent to a group chat, let's effing go, Charlie Kirk got shot, LOL. Imagine that, celebrating the death of someone you once looked in the eyes of and debated. Charlie Kirk represented the spirit of free speech the Oxford Union was founded to uphold. For the president-elect to be celebrating his death is nothing short of disgraceful, and it exposes the deeper rot that has infected our universities. Here's George arguing that some institutions should be destroyed by any means necessary.
And this is a view I wholeheartedly agree with. The view that some institutions are too broken, too regressive, too oppressive to be reformed. Like cancers of our society, they must and they should be taken down by any means necessary.
The fact that he was ever elected as president is a stain on the union's reputation. But I guess it proves going to a fancy uni doesn't make you wise. But there is a silver lining. At least 200 Life members have already pledged their support for a motion of no confidence. So let's hope they can restore sanity at the Oxford Union.
A controversy brewing at the University of Miami.
Why is this news, bro? The dude,
Click
the
play.
dude had his group chat leaked.
Oh.
He's like the fucking president-elect of a student debate club. They didn't even show what institution he wanted to dismantle by any means
Now you're less
necessary.
of a cop.
Okay, I don't even know what institution he's talking about. But can you imagine? It's like
your new phrase is.
it's like saying,
Hassan Abai.
well, this guy
Stop
had some
resisting.
crazy views and said
He's
that
not
we
even
must
a podcaster, dude. He's just
incarcerate
some
or
guy.
maybe even engage
Nobody
in the death
cares
penalty
about
for
Charlie
people
Kirk.
who've done
They shot some dude
who've done
that just
nothing
has
wrong,
video.
and then you see the video and he's like, yeah, we got to do the
Dude,
death penalty on
people
these
are gonna
guys,
lose
and then
their
it clips out
minds in
the part where
200
he's like,
years
these
when
guys that
when
are
these fucking-
pedophiles or something.
We're gonna get
like
no, in
you don't
200
know. I
years,
don't know what
people are gonna get
institution he's talking about. It could be
gunned
the fucking
down,
banks.
dude.
It could
Some
be
some kid that's
the
running for
Department of
president at 90
Education,
years
or it
old
could be
is
I
gonna
don't
have
know
an
the
entire
fucking
narrative constructed against
War
him
Department,
using
the Department of
AI.
War. You
And
know,
it's
it's just
you're
like
gonna literally
the
have
whole
their
point
entire
of
fucking
spirited
thing
debate
running.
is
It's gonna be
understanding what
like,
his
here,
fucking position is.
read
You know.
through this guy's entire life. It's literally
Yeah, he could be talking about
the
fucking
debates
Hamas
are going to be
for all we
turned
know.
into just watching. It's gonna be we're gonna get 2 days off of work, and you're gonna have to watch an 8-hour long video about both candidates fucking shit. And nobody's gonna realize that the real failure is that we have a two-party system for the rest of our fucking life, and that everybody hates that. Everybody hates the voting class, and this is just
It's just
to get
always
them to
one
shut
directional,
the
dude.
fuck up.
It's
and
always one
work.
directional.
Just take
Charlie
the
Kirk
money,
and
do the
virtually
job.
every other
How
Republican has
hard
been
is
like,
that?
"Oh, good riddance. George
I'm
Floyd
going to
sucked."
give
He's
you
they
have
make fun of
2
him over and
days.
over again, which is so
You're
crazy
either
because like
going
the
to
only
do the
reason why he
job and
became
get the
a
money,
public
or you're
figure and a
gonna get the
rallying
money and
cry
do the
was because he
job.
got killed.
You have 2 choices.
Right?
Get the money and do the job.
Like that's the whole point.
And
He became a
eventually
figurehead
we're gonna come at
for a
as a
movement
country, and
that
you're gonna get
tried to
prepaid
address
for the
the
week
disproportionate
eventually.
targeting and
So like when
execution
you show up to work on their
of
first day
black
of
people
work,
in the
you
hands of the
actually have to
police,
get your first
right?
2 weeks of pay in for them to
That's
actually
it.
work with you. And maybe we'll come together as
And
a society
people
where you
never
have to
let
cut
that
the
go.
check for
They
a whole year at
loved
some point.
loved
So you can't
complaining
just
about that
fucking
shit.
fire
They
people
loved
right at the beginning of their job.
crying about it, making
But
jokes
who
about
would
it,
fucking do that?
hyper
That's
obsessive.
crazy, bro. That's
Okay,
fucking
hyper obsessive
crazy.
about like George Floyd. They slam that shit onto everything still to this day because it was one of the few instances where like a police officer was actually charged with murder. And yet people that don't reach that standard when talking about Charlie Kirk are currently getting fucking canned from their positions. The standard is just so distorted. It's just so one-sided.
So my viewers can see that.
A scientist connected to the school has been fired after posting about Charlie Kirk's death. Let's hit to Local 10's Byron Tollefson. He joins us live in Miami with more.
Yeah, University of Miami's medical school calling this faculty member's comments unacceptable in announcing they're now off the job.
Turn this shit off.
A University of Miami medical school
Fucking retard. I'm off.